After episodes 10 and 11 of The Bad Batch Season 3, something hit me about cloning and the Force. And Emerie and Omega. Emerie confronts Nala Se and says that Kaminoan threw her away. This is the key to Emerie's origin. Nala Se created Omega, very intentionally. Omega, being such a unique clone, likely wasn't accomplished on the first attempt. Emerie was an earlier attempt of Omega. It's possible that Emerie showed some promise and was Nala Se's shadow, as Omega was when we first met her. Emerie would have learned a lot in that time. When it turned out Emerie's blood wasn't what Nala Se wanted it to be, she moved on. I don't know if Nala Se would necessarily have scheduled Emerie for termination. She likely just made her a regular worker, no longer special. That could be the discarding that Emerie is referring to. There was bitterness and pain in the accusation. That could also be why Emerie shows some loyalty to Hemlock. Hemlock could have came in at a vulnerable time, made her feel important and special again, which is classic controlling abusive behavior. Given Emerie's unique knowledge, Hemlock, or the Empire at large, could have selected her for its cloning staff. That could also explain Emerie having a last name, to hide the fact that she was a clone. Speaking of names, I looked up Emerie, and it's an old German name meaning home strength. This fits a bit with her inevitable assistance of the Batch on Tantus. Emerie, spelled with a Y, however, is a coating used to polish, smooth, or grind, a tool to make a product better. Emerie is that tool to Omega. Omega is the last letter in the Greek alphabet and means the final part. Nala Se, when she succeeded with Omega, would have stopped. These recent Star Wars series have been taking a lot from Greek culture and mythology. Kar, Emerie's surname, however, means a swampy place, so maybe I'm looking for connections where there aren't any. To go further into my theory, Hemlock's lab seems to be staffed exclusively by female scientists. This makes him seem like kind of a creep. Well, a creep in a whole new way. But what if all the females were attempts at Omega? The male clones were brought up as soldiers from day one. The females could have been brought up as scientists from day one. If this is the case, that could explain the all-female staff in the Imperial cloning facility. I was curious why all the attempts were female. Nala Se found something in the female genetics that allowed this special blood. It's anecdotal, but the proof may be in Rey. Palpatine's future attempts to create a body that could hold the Force result in Dathan. Dathan was a strandcast using Palpatine's DNA. A strandcast is a genetically engineered artificial life form. He was not at all Force sensitive, so the attempt was deemed a failure. Dathan was otherwise normal, so he's permitted to live on as a backup for Palpatine's bloodline. Dathan fled the Sith Eternal and tried to live a normal life. He married a woman named Miramur, and the two of them had a child incredibly strong in the Force. That child was Rey. It's plausible the cloning process and the midichlorians only work with female biology. This also reinforces my belief that Omega is strong in the Force. The only thing hurting my running theory is Snoke. Snoke was also a strandcast and is male. We saw in the Rise of Skywalker many Snoke bodies in a vat, so Snoke didn't look so great on the throne. These events are also decades after the time of the Bad Batch. The cloning process could have gotten better. Snoke was a partial success in that he could use the Force, but his body was also decaying. Rey doesn't suffer this fault, nor does Omega. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm excited to be getting answers over the next month. Check out this video next for more on the Force.